in Turkey relations in this deal? Are we seeing a new alliance in the making?
Are you asking me this question?
Yes, Yusuf. That is to you before I open the mic to the members of the audience.
Well, when you look at the Gulf and you look at GCC countries, many of the GCC countries have an interest and are stakeholders in what goes on in East Africa and North Africa. You see the Emiratis, the Saudis, Bahrain, Qatar. They're all very interested in what happens in this region. This region is very important for their trade as well, whether it be carrying natural gas, whether it be bringing food or other consumer products via shipping. It's a very important area. So they're all very interested in what happens. Now, Turkey and Qatar have a very, very special relationship that has a tremendous amount of confidence in it. Turkey has had a base in Qatar for quite some time. It played a very important role during the GCC blockade of Qatar. The Qataris know that the Turks are reliable partners, and when the Turks have been in need, Qatar has come to bail them out when they needed it as well. So that relationship is very close. Turkey has improved its relationship with the other GCC countries that it had deteriorated relations with during the Arab Spring period. So we've seen a normalization with the Emiratis. We've seen a normalization with the Saudis. And that normalization now has greatly increased to the point where Turkey is selling drones to these countries. Turkey is signing multiple deals in a wide range of sectors as well. So I don't think it wants to think it wants to hurt its relationship through competition. Now, I've read a couple articles regarding the Emiratis, maybe a little disappointed that Turkey is in this real estate, but this is analysis of individuals. I don't give much credence to that. I think the Emiratis would much rather see the Turks filling that void than per se an Iran-backed group or a group that it would view more as a threat. I think that the Turkish-Emirati relationship has improved to the point where they won't view a Turkish presence in Somalian territorial waters as a threat anymore versus what it would have been a couple years ago. So again, the relationship amongst GCC countries, it's fluid, let's say, I think at best. Qatar has improved this relationship with the Saudis. Its relationship with the Emiratis is maybe a step or two behind where it should be, but that relationship will improve as well. And again, what's good for Turkey is good for Qatar. What's good for Qatar is good for Turkey. So did Qatar play a role in this deal? No, I don't think they played a role in this deal, just because I think the relationship between Somalia and Turkey is so good that Turkey doesn't need an external actor to support it in making deals with Somalia. This is purely bilateral in my point of view. See, when Qatar needed Turkey's help, and it needed it immediately, Turkey deployed immediately. It was there very, very quickly. So I think that if Somalia needs Turkey's help and it needs immediate help, I can see Turkey deploying to that region and beginning to safeguard territorial waters very quickly. It was able to do this in Libya as well. Now, from the perspective of how it would handle any type of an Ethiopian incursion into Somalian territorial waters, I think the best example is what's happening in northern Syria over the past 6 or 7 years. Now, when you look at northern Syria, there's the Russians, there's the Americans, there's the Iranians, there's the Turks. They're all there. But if you've noticed, they've all filled their voids, and neither of these actors militarily or kinetically engage each other. Yes, some Iranian non-state actors have engaged American assets in that region, but generally, the militaries of Russia, America, and Turkey do not engage each other. They filled their voids, and their sovereign flags are a deterrence for one another. So I think Turkey filling that void of that maritime territory itself is a deterrent. The best defense the best defense is deterrence, because you never have to use offense. Your presence alone and the perception of your capabilities are always the best deterrents. And I think that the relationship between Ethiopia and Turkey, especially with the domestic situation inside Ethiopia and the support that Turkey has given the legitimate Ethiopian government throughout that process, so they understand that Turkey is a valuable ally and has come to their aid in their time of need, I don't think that's a relationship that they would want to destroy or hurt. So I think that Turkey's presence alone in filling that void is probably the most de-escalating version of deterrence that Somalia could have in that region out of any actor in the world, I think, because they won't view it as threatening. The relationship is valuable, and their presence is the deterrence. So I think that that's the way that Turkey would handle that, because at the end of the day, Turkey doesn't want to militarily engage any African actor with hard power. It's worked very hard over the past 20 years and invested a lot of time and money to build the relationship with every single actor on the continent and also with the African Union. So bringing hard power into the equation not only would deteriorate that bilateral relationship, it would deteriorate its image as well on the continent as a whole. And that's not something that Turkey is going to want to engage in. So I think that it'll use its presence as a deterrent mostly.